To cry.
Begging their parent.
Damn, he's racking up them numbers heavily right now.
But that one doesn't even.
He turned me into a hat! What's up, my fellow guild members? Elfkel here. Welcome to another reaction video. Also, don't forget to check out gamersubs.gg and use code KALE at checkout for 10% off. I hope you enjoy the video. What is up, everyone? So we are about to be watching how long would Gumball's prison sentence be? Yeah. So out of every single out of context Gumball video that I've seen, and the fact that Gumball is a questionable criminal, this is going to actually prove to how long his sentence would actually be if he was to actually be reprimanded. So let's get right into it.
Don't let Gumball's adorable blue appearance trick you into thinking he's as sweet as a Smurf or anything.
He is not as sweet as a Smurf at all. This dude is a menace to society.
Binge watching the entirety of the Amazing World.
Not just him. His whole fucking family is a menace to society. His whole family, yeah.
The Gumball like there's nobody's business. I can personally tell you this dude is the Antichrist in cat form and is guilty of an insane number of downright evil crimes.
Come on, I'm not that bad. Ugh.
My face is Darwin's face in that scene, but also the same would go to Darwin. Darwin is just as bad, if not worse. The entire family is just their entire family is a family of fucking criminals. They are unintended criminals.
Everybody loves harmless pranks, but the sick pranks Gumball pulled in The Prank were enough to have anyone drowning in his tears. After Richard passes him salt to put on his cereal and hides baked beans in his sneakers, Gumball decides to teach the amateur prankster what real practical jokes are all about, and by real, I mean as real cruel as humanly possible. He starts by hijacking the prank audio guide Richard is listening to and instructs him to carry out this dangerous, embarrassing stunt.
Step 1. Go out onto the roof of the house. Step 2. Take off all of your clothes. Step 3. Pretend that you are a ballerina while repeatedly slapping yourself in the face. Dude, this cannot be real.
I'm a ballerina, I'm a ballerina, I'm a ballerina, I'm a ballerina. Honestly, this looks like something Richard would get up to in his free time.
No, that definitely looks like something Richard would do just for fun.
Anyway, next, Gumball tells Richard to put his head down the chimney, and this obviously results in his fat butt getting stuck like Santa Claus. The boys find him fast asleep in the living room the next morning. Another perfect opportunity to take the prank too far.
I can't wait to see the look on his face when he wakes up.
They pushed him in a river. Okay, so they pushed him in a river that goes to the ocean, I'm assuming, and he's gonna get lost in the ocean. I have not seen.
Richard sleeps like a baby as he drifts further out to sea, and when he finally wakes up, he has to eat his own clothes for survival. He arrives back home extremely sunburned and remains unusually quiet for some time before ultimately turning into a psycho killer hungry for revenge.
What the
what? Okay, so here's the context of that scene from the video that I did before with Richard. That's okay. That makes more sense as to why he was doing this and why he looked so fucking crazy.
I'm gonna prank you. Richard breaks 5 ribs as he crashes through the walls of the house, chasing after his terrified sons, before finally revealing it was all just a sick prank. Gumball got payback for those cruel pranks he pulled, but the law could sentence him to 90 days in jail and slap him with a $1,000 fine. I just hope he doesn't try.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start here. What is the length and fine amount by the end of the video? How long do you think Gumball is going to get punished for, and what's the fine? Put your answers in the comments below.
Any pranks in the big house. Someone might chop off his tail as revenge or something, I don't know. Anais is the most well-behaved child of the Wattersons, but as a baby, she was something straight out of a horror movie and made Gumball look totally normal by comparison.
Jesus Christ, what is that face?
Darwin and Gumball are super excited to become big bros, but their little sis is a creature from the depths of hell. Anais has her evil heart set on becoming an only child and tries to put the boy 6 feet under in some of the most brutal, painful ways possible.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Ready or not, here we come. Eek-a-boo!
did she just in 10 seconds? How is she just like Nicole? How she has like every single one in that family has super strength and super speed. It seems like it's like they're legit superheroes, but the villains. It reminds me of the show The Boys, kind of.
One Pika. Boom.
Pika boom. He's a fish. The cry.
Begging their parents to let a pack of scavenging hyenas adopt Anais didn't work. The boys tried to scare the little sis into becoming a little less psycho.
And now we're gonna send you as unlabeled meat to the dog food factory.
Gumball
What
and
is
Darwin
that
watch
face?
the empty box from the living room, thinking Anais is inside, learning a valuable lesson about trying to kill her brothers, when a garbage man suddenly shows up and takes the box away. The boys race to the dump and Gumball chases after the box on a conveyor belt, hilariously sacrificing himself on the compactor and almost getting incinerated just to save an old bit of cardboard. In the end, the brothers get reunited with Anais and their tears of joy turn her into a normal baby, at least by Watterson standards. The dump is not a public place, so Gumball committed trespassing by being there, and the penalty is 6 months in prison and $1,000 in fines. His punishment would probably feel like a vacation, though. It's
a good thing he's got Toon Force, because if he didn't have Toon Force, he would have been dead. Like, getting smashed by that would have killed him 100%. But he's Toon Force, you know? Toon Force has unimaginable abilities.
School, and most importantly, no Anais. It is truly shocking that harassment is even a crime a literal children's cartoon character has committed. And
Wait,
not
what?
only that, it's one of Gumball's most recurring crimes in the whole show. The first despicable act happened in the society when Gumball believed a secret society was operating within the school and wanted to become a member so badly that he assaulted Rocky into telling him the non-existent passcode.
I need the secret password. Here's $20.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about here, but I can't be bought.
Now, come on, Rocky, just take it. Just take the money.
I'm not for sale. This is why I quit banking.
And then started checking the other students and teachers for membership tattoos in their most private areas.
With actual bugs. I wish I'd worn my underpop.
Not even have pockets.
I wish I'd won my underpot. What the fuck is wrong with Gumball? Oh my god. Yep.
What is he doing?
He's checking for membership tattoos.
The hell is wrong with you, Cartoon Network? Now, I really wish I could say that's the end of Gumball's creep saga, but there's more. Remember the episode The Slap, when Gumball harassed Tobias the entire day by trying to make him slap his butt?
Hey, man. Oh, hey.
Gumball. Gumball. Come on, buddy. Can't be too eager for that.
Yeah. Gotta go.
Will slap my butt today, Tobias Wilson, even if it's the last thing you do.
Or in The Cringe, when he tried to force Hot Dog Guy into stripping in front of him?
And take him off!
No way.
Just take him off!
Leave it.
Just take off your clothes!
Remind me again why your parents were ever okay with us watching this show?
Yeah, I
We
don't
never
know.
watched it
I
with
never
us and
watched
never
this,
knew. Gumball
so
could face 6 months in jail and $3,000 in fines per person he's harassed. So that's 3 years and $18K for those 6 victims.
damn, he's racking up them numbers heavily right now. But also, like, you know, this show seems like it's definitely bad when it comes down to letting kids watch it. But I mean, I also watched SpongeBob, and SpongeBob had a lot of shit in it too. So, yeah.
He really needs a lesson in personal space or a psychiatrist to address the serious underlying mental problems.
What is that face?
What does Gumball want to be when he grows up? Well, for the safety of balloons everywhere, I hope and pray it's nothing medical related. After finding out Alan's mom was really sick and the kid wasn't just lying to get out of the meal he had planned, Gumball starts digging a hole to wallow in his shame. Alan then asks for a favor, which was supposed to be, hey, can you go down the corridor and find another doctor since you knocked my dad out when you burst through the door? But Gumball thinks the balloon wants him to perform the surgery.
Seriously, there's medically qualified professionals. Hello. Shh. It's over there. Oh, sorry, Uncle Phil.
Sorry, Uncle Phil. Who is Uncle Phil, and why is he saying sorry for putting a glove on? Does this remind him of something? I think I can see why Gumball is the way he is. He probably has some hidden trauma from a guy named Uncle Phil. Okay.
With his 2 patients unconscious, Dr. Gumball is ready to perform the flatulum transplant, but he doesn't even know what that is. And honestly, neither do I. He has a little browse in a biology textbook and finds a set of instructions for the surgery, but tosses them aside and makes Darwin stick his head inside Alan and just hope for the best.
Where? Just grab anything. It'll probably be the flatulum. No.
It's all invisible. How are we supposed to do it separate? Ah! He's gushing air everywhere!
Darwin eventually grabs the flatulum, but Alan is still dying. How will Dr. Idiot save his patient? By making his assistant do CPR, which only pushes the air out faster while also making fart noises. While his brother continues to sit back and be totally helpless, Darwin desperately tries to blow air back into Alan, but the poor kid's anesthetic has worn off now.
My insides are
What the fuck is that face? Oh my god, that just creeped me the fuck out. Oh my god.
Gumball saves Alan's life by plugging his hole with his finger. Darwin then scraps the flatulum off his foot, and Gumball gets to work on Alan's mom. Amazingly, the surgery gets completed with 0 fatalities, but Dr. Watterson's sloppy work does cause one life-changing complication.
Thank you, Gumball, for saving my mother. What the? Is she talking out of her backside now?
Nothing's ever good enough for you, is it, Mr. Perfect?
So if that's where the backside of a balloon is, then didn't Gumball technically put his finger in Alan's... And what Darwin did is just unspeakable. That episode is irrefutable proof that The Amazing World of Gumball is the wildest kids show I think I've ever watched.
Okay, this definitely beats SpongeBob for Wild. This beats any kid show that I've ever watched for Wild. What?
But you know what's even crazier? The Gumball is only getting 3 years in jail and a $10,000 fine for his very unlicensed and very botched flatulum surgery. And I bet you the a-hole will ask to borrow the money from Alan. He'd probably say yes as well. Gumball holds the title of the worst sibling anybody could be cursed with. And as the youngest of the Watterson weirdos, Anais is always going to get taken advantage of by her jackass brother. All that allowance she's been saving in her piggy bank her entire life, it's toenails. Gumball stole all the money, and even after confessing everything, he just helps himself again seconds later.
Well, at least you don't know about the $30 Mom just gave me. What?
This is perfect!
Stealing a sibling's money still counts as theft, and the crimes would land Gumball with a 3-year stay in prison and a fine of $10,000, which I'm sure will be paid off with more stolen money.
Yeah, he's got the list. I think what he does is he has a bucket list for crimes that he wants to commit, and he's just going through the bucket list because that just seems like he's like checking things off a list. You know, hey, botched surgery, unlicensed surgery, botched surgery, theft, SA, stuff like that. Yeah, everything is just going down the line. Everything's going down the line. Not only in the botched unlicensed surgery, there was also SA.
Most of us know Penny as a shape-shifting fairy who's as yellow as sunshine, but she used to be an anthropomorphic peanut. She looked hella weird, but Gumball loved her regardless, and once did some pretty crazy stuff to win her dad's approval. Gumball has been partnered with his crush Penny for a medieval assignment, and he wants the house squeaky clean and his family looking totally normal in the time for her arrival. Like that'll ever happen.
Welcome to the Watterson's house!
It's a no.
Somehow I don't think the fire was the real
I think the dad is definitely right in that situation.
danger Penny's dad saw him leaving her there. It was Richard showering outside naked. Gumball tries to win Mr. Fitzgerald over by baking him a cake, showing up at his workplace uninvited, and defacing a billboard he probably paid thousands of dollars to advertise his business on.
Watterson and Fitzgerald co-friendship unlimited? What the?
Penny sneaks over to Gumball's to work on the project, but Tobias shows up and challenges Watterson to a duel, the winner of which gets to be Lady Penny's partner for the assignment. I knew it'd be lame. I just didn't expect it to fail that tragically. The boys start to beat each other up with broomsticks, and Penny starts...
Yeah, I know the fate of a rock on a skateboard all too well. Yeah.
To break it up, but almost gets run over by her father. Gumball saves her, but causes her dad to crash into the house, and the episode ends with Gumball's family going absolutely ballistic over their wrecked house. Kinda hypocritical since they once destroyed the entire town, but more on that later. Engaging in a duel is just a nerdier way of fighting in the street. You can get Gumball charged with disorderly conduct and sentenced to a whole year in prison and fined $1,000 to boot. And if we add the vandalism of Mr. Fitzgerald's billboard and the trespassing on the construction site, Gumball's looking at 4 years and 6 months in prison plus $52,000 in fines. Here's a little PSA for you guys. If someone's breath stinks, please let them know. Otherwise, the problem could get worse, and pretty soon you're in the presence of someone with breath as bad as Gumball's history teacher. After G-Ball forces everyone on the school bus to listen to him.
That reminded me of the episode of Family Guy when Peter had the fucking the shrimps lodged in his gums from the what's the name of the thing? The quick shrimp thing. I can't remember. Anyways, yeah, that reminded me of that.
Screeching out the lyrics to his favorite song, he gets karma when Principal Brown gets on to the next stop and sits down next to him. They talk about his car crashing into the repair shop, but their conversation turns mega awkward when the old dude starts bringing up his love life. Gumball mentions that Penny has a new obnoxious laugh, but he can't bear to tell her about it. And Principal Brown feels the same way about Miss Simeon's unholy morning breath. They agree to break the news to each other's love interests, and let's just say Principal Brown's job is going to be way less dangerous than Gumball's.
It's over, Simeon. My plan is flawless.
After presumably being
he said, I could still smell it as he was dead.
Down in the ER for a good couple of hours, Gumball tries to discreetly let Miss Simeon know her breath stinks by putting all his answers to the pop quiz as dental hygiene. She still doesn't catch on, so he breaks it to her as delicately as possible.
Your breath smells so bad your face should be wearing diapers.
Miss Simeon. His morning breath is now history, but Principal Brown goes back on his end of the deal without even saying thank you. Gumball isn't the type of student to get screwed over by a teacher, so he starts hurling bricks into the principal's office. The guy ignores the threatening notes attached to them, and a few days later goes to collect his car from the repair garage, but Gumball is there waiting, and wow, it's been a long time. Despite Gumball almost starving to death, Principal Brown still refuses to keep his promise. And the next day at school, the Furious Boys is lurking around every corner, and Principal Brown can't even get a break from the creepy kid outside school hours.
Oh, what a terrible.
Hey, that's what happens when you go back on your promises. You can never go back on your promises. When you make a promise, you stick by it. Unless the promise is, like, terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's something that's super immoral, definitely don't commit to that promise. I think.
Nightmare.
Gumball eventually breaks down the door to Principal Brown's office and smashes everything up in a fit of rage. The episode ends with the old dude accidentally spilling everything about the agreement over the school intercom, pissing off Miss Simeon and Penny big time. But how much jail time did Gumball rack up in those 11 minutes? Well, between all the property damage and being a majorly creepy stalker, the kid's looking at about 6 years in prison and a $60,000 fine. Gumball is one mean kitty, but in the test, he at least tried to be nice for the first time ever in his life. After an online what type of sitcom character am I test tells him he's the loser, Gumball sets out to reinvent himself by doing the exact opposite of what he normally does, and he takes that idea way too literally.
He's literally going in reverse.
At school, he sits at his desk upside down, uses his feet to flick through the textbook, and when it's time for lunch, he spits out his food and puts it back for the other students to eat.
Alright, you're taking this too literally. I gotta put an end to it before you go to the bathroom.
Following Darwin's advice, Gumball tries to be nice and bottle up the unnecessary mean things he's always saying to people, aka his Gumballisms. And he does a good job containing the venom inside himself, even when Tobias shows up with a terrible new haircut. But he can't avoid being mean forever, and finally erupted after Tobias epically failed to jump a shark on water skis. Mayhem is the crime of disfiguring another person, and the maximum penalty is 8 years in prison.
He didn't just, that's not just disfiguring, bro. He just literally put a hole through him. That killed him. Did it not kill him? Is he not dead?
a fine of $10K, but we also need to add 6 months and $1,000 to that for literally exposing himself at the bus stop. I don't think those fines will be enough to cover the cost of Tobias's plastic surgery, though. Guys, I can't believe we're only halfway through Gumball's crimes here, and the blue delinquent has already earned himself 28 years and 3 months in jail, plus $162,000 in fines.
Bro, okay, so let's see. 28 years and 3 months in jail. $162,000 fine. This is only halfway through. Now that we know halfway, put y'all's guesses again down below if you want to change them. Put your guesses again down below. This is your second chance to get the right guess. All right, let's go.
If he's this bad at fracking 12, what atrocities would he be capable of as an adult? Well, we'll never know, because these next crimes are sure to have G-Ball thrown in the slammer for the rest of his miserable days. Normal people would be glad if someone stopped trying to mess with them, but as the most abnormal boy in Elmore, and let's be honest, the world, Gumball was desperate to get his bully to hate him again. Gumball's heart gets ripped in two when he discovers his old arch-nemesis Rob has moved on to arch-nemesising someone else.
You gonna be okay?
Gumball? Gumball!
I'm fine.
Dang it.
That's kind of like how when I'm bringing it back to Family Guy. That's kind of like how when the giant chicken was dying and Peter Griffin needed to save him because his nemesis was about to be gone. He no longer had his nemesis, no longer a will to live, because the nemesis brought so much excitement and suspense to his life that it kept him wanting to live on. You know what I'm saying? Peter's life was about to be super boring up until now. So I can see where Gumball's going with this.
He really stood there until closing time. The next day, he's still not recovered and actually stands outside in his underwear crying before begging Rob to murder him.
Obliterated. I mean, there'd be nothing left of me. They'd have to use my dental records to figure out who I was. Yeah, it would be terrible if someone, cut my brakes.
As if Gumball hadn't already lost the plot at this point, he dresses up as Banana Joe and follows Rob around, hoping he'll be reinstated as his arch nemesis. He tries to be as annoying as possible, but Rob still has zero interest in destroying his life. Deciding to turn over a new leaf, Gumball shows up.
What's wrong with Rob, by the way? Is Rob like glitching or something? What kind of creature is Rob?
Uninvited to one of Rob's missions, hoping to make friends. And he's even gone to the trouble of destroying Banana Joe for him, but planted the booby traps at the wrong house.
So, why are we watching this house?
Because it's where Banana Joe lives?
Oh, then whose house did Oh, Tobias.
Gumball
he didn't even care. He said, "Oh, Tobias."
stupidly foiled all the plans to destroy Banana Joe, sending Rob into a rage and restoring his status as arch nemesis numero uno. Gumball got what he wanted in the end, and I'm sure he'll make hundreds of more enemies during his 11-year prison stay for accidentally blowing up Tobias. The kid's also got a hefty $10,000 fine to pay too. Tobias would be so offended, dude. Doesn't the law know his life is worth at least $1 billion? That lazy off Gumball had in The Laziest was completely unnecessary. The fact he literally enslaved a classmate is enough proof that he is the laziest Watterson. When Bobbert loses a bet against Gumball, the sicko cruelly forces him to become his slave for the day. Gumball and Darwin immediately think about all the good they can bring to the world using the high-tech robot, but playing dumb pranks is way more fun than boring old world peace.
There's so much good we can do.
Do you have anything for them?
Well, I'm not a mechanic, but how long has this been going on for?
After telling Bobbert to make out with the defibrillator, Gumball gets caught by Principal Brown and gets ordered to spend his lunch break molding the stadium field, which of course Bobbert will be taking on for him.
Sure, whatever.
Task complete.
A bit more hair on the horse's tail.
As he's in
He didn't even mow it. He didn't even cut the grass.
slave mode, Bobbert interprets anything his master says as a command, and Gumball's careless words result in Principal Brown getting kidnapped and dumped in the woods.
I wish that guy would just get lost.
Where am I?
A rollerblader almost getting lasered to death, a student being thrown out the window, and the termination of Gumball.
As long as I don't say, Bobbert, terminate Gumball, or whatever, it's fine.
Put it into it.
No. Ow! Okay. Bobbert, you don't take orders from anyone now, all right?
What's your problem, man?
Following command. Bobbert, terminate Gumball.
Oh, yeah, delete that from your memory.
Command denied.
Bobbert, you don't take orders from anyone now, all right?
Commence termination.
Bobbert chases Gumball through the school.
This is a Terminator type scene. Holy shit.
causing massive amounts of chaos and destruction along the way. The robot even sets Miss Simeon on fire. She did say she was cold, though, before blowing up the nurse's office.
The band-aid on the band-aid.
24-hour slave mode was deactivated seconds before he was due to self-destruct and kill Gumball and Darwin along with him. That episode will lead to charges of slavery, and if convicted, Gumball will be rotting in the clink for the next 12 years and fined $500,000. Did you know that
Wait, it's only that little amount for that? What the fuck?
Gumball's name is actually Zach? Yeah, it turns out Gumball was just a nickname this whole time. Anyway, Zach Watterson holds the world record for being the most insecure weirdo on the planet. Like, his insecurities are so intense, they've pushed him to the brink of committing murder. In The Flower, Gumball literally becomes green with envy after seeing Leslie and Penny getting a little too cozy. Hell-bent on wiping the girl stealing flour off the face of the earth, the sociopath stocks up on murder weapons and stows the damning evidence away in his locker.
What's up? Plan B?
Well,
The fact that Leslie saw all that but still thought it was a good idea to hang out alone with Gumball is just so dumb and makes Richard look like Einstein.
What's wrong with Gumball? What's the green look for? Is that like his does he have split personality now in this episode? Is that what this is? Leeches, worms.
I see you've met my hungry little friend. I can't move! That's right. I've glued you to the fence.
Leslie escapes being eaten alive by pulling himself out of his pod. He then heads straight to the school to warn Penny and everyone else to keep away from the psycho who just tried to kill him. And Gumball really proves his point, don't you think?
Are you okay?
Stay away from her. She loves me. She loves you not. She loves me.
Darwin, help! Dude, chill out! We need to do something! I don't even recognize him anymore!
Gumball tried to kill Leslie 2 times in that episode and will rightfully be punished with an 18-year stay in the Stony Lonesome and a $20,000 fine. In the episode The Saint, our protagonist's actions would have been saintlier than ever if the episode took place on opposite day. The show kicks off with Gumball eating chips loudly in the library before opening a drink and accidentally setting fire to one of the school computers.
Okay, that is scary. That is terrifying. But how the fuck do you set fire to the computer? What did he do?
That is literally how teachers react to minor inconveniences, though. Alan takes the blame and gets
really
ripped apart in the principal's office. Instead of being thankful, Gumball is disgusted that someone could be so nice and vows to push Alan to his breaking point and unleash the bad kid he knows is inside him. His quest to ruin the balloon's life starts with a status update that I guess would be considered racist in the Gumball universe.
Oh my gosh! Why are there so many drawn people in Elmore? Go back to your flat country and stop ruining our economy. Nobody likes it too, deist.
When Alan returns to his computer, he gets hit by 100 dislike buttons, but instead of getting mad at Gumball for assassinating his social life, he thanks him for giving him the opportunity to befriend everyone again. Now even more determined to break Alan, Gumball frames him for cheating on his girlfriend and sells his parents to balloon traffickers?
I sold your parents.
I sold your parents.
Now, who wants to see balloon tricks?
But Alan doesn't even
turned me into a hat!
care about his parents being tortured. He's just happy they're bringing so much joy to the children. In the end, every person Alan lost returns to him. The heartwarming reunion makes Gumball realize the error of his ways, and from now on, he agrees to do anything anybody asks of him, even highly dangerous experimental testing.
I don't feel so good.
Ew. Ew.
What?
Ew. Ew.
Ending up as a hideous...
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, so Darwin got hit with The Last of Us, and I don't know what Gumball got hit with.
His disgusting monster was sweet karma for selling Alan's parents to the balloon trade. Trafficking is basically one of the most evil, scummiest crimes you can commit, and as Gumball is guilty as charged, he'd be facing 24 years in prison and a $1 million fine for selling Alan's parents. I wonder how much he was paid to sell them for anyway. Gumball is annoying as hell, along with his entire family, really. In the episode perfectly titled The Nuisance, the people of Elmore reach the final straw with the Wattersons, and the mayor banishes them to Ohio. The family are shocked.
Good. Ohio doesn't exist.
But Nicole says that they can avoid being banished by convincing the town that they are nice and normal people. But instead of just blending in and saying the odd good morning to their neighbors, the family do insane things, like driving a stranger all the way to Nebraska to visit his dying grandmother.
That was a long detour, but at least that man got to see his grandmother one last time in Nebraska.
Wait, didn't he say Nevada?
allowing a literal burglar to steal their stuff.
Here, take it.
Okay.
It came with a 2-year warranty.
Okay. How about a hug before you go? Not okay.
That's God damn, bro. Get out. I would be the robber. I would be running away. I would drop that TV and just instantly dip. I would not go to rob that house.
And doing whatever the hell this is. All that weirdness must have worked, though, because now the town starts to believe the family weren't as bad as they thought. The Wattersons transform into model citizens, but after learning the mayor wants to selfishly sell Elmore to land developers, they revert back to their criminal selves and decide to destroy the entire neighborhood so nobody will ever buy it. And as an experienced vandal, this really is Gumball's time to shine. He starts by pouring tons of bath salts into the water supply, causing residents to go insane and attack each other. Then he disintegrates tree.
He just created 28 days later.
Tree librarian in his house with a bucket full of termites. And encourages a burglar to mug people, but instead gets instant karma.
I want you to take this bat and go mug people in the neighborhood.
Before setting the entirety of Elmore up in flames.
This is for you, Elmore.
How much oil did they use for that shit? What the fuck?
The catastrophic damage scares off any rich people from ever wanting to buy Elmore, but nobody in town is going to care after the weirdos burned everything they owned to the ground. Gumball and his family got pelted with tomatoes in town square for destroying Elmore, a far more lenient punishment than a $1 million fine and 65-year prison sentence, if you ask me, as that is his total prison sentence for terrorism, bioterrorism, and the murder of Tree Librarian. Is it better to have toxic friends or none at all?
It's not just him though on that one. That's the entire Watterson family. That is the entire Watterson family.
Well, in The Parasite, Gumball didn't approve of Anais' new friend and turned completely psycho. The episode opens with Gumball and Darwin reading Anais' diary despite writing a 10-mile-long list of reasons why they shouldn't read it. They learn that their sister's new friend, Jody, is super toxic and stole her lunch, her science project, and also blew up the school. I don't think any kid would falter for that one, though. And as much as Gumball is
she's just as bad as Gumball. She's not just as bad. She's barely as bad as Gumball. Gumball's way worse.
Selfish, annoying jerk of a brother, he's the only one allowed to take advantage of his sister. So, the next day at school, he knocks out an innocent girl with one of Darwin's shoes before realizing the real Jody is around the corner, letting Anais buy every candy bar in the vending machine for her. Paul later tries to take out Jody during phys ed, but Anais takes the blow for her. Gumball accidentally hits Anais with another ball and tries to tell her that her friend is just a parasite who wants free stuff. She won't listen though, so at lunch, Gumball swoops in to stop his little sister for paying for Jody's food and says he's bought something special for her friend to eat. Now, judging by G-Ball's smug, annoying face, this has gotta be poison, and I would have been right if the stupid kid hadn't mixed up the sandwiches before school. Actually, no, that still makes me right. Whew, validation secure.
So he was trying to poison her and ended up poisoning his dad.
At least the 911 operator didn't have to hear Richard wailing over the phone like a baby. Jody then starts to become a literal parasite and takes over Anais' brain just like Gumball predicted.
Get off my sisters! Everything! Leave us alone! They're getting away!
Gumball and Darwin sent the schools to the infirmary by capturing them in a humane trap that almost burned them to death. The school nurse examines Anais and reveals that she was actually the social parasite all along. Jody just wanted to borrow a pen.
All I wanted was to borrow a pen.
So Anais is... She reminds me of... What's the name of that? What's the name of that girl? One of the horror movie girls, we can just pick a movie that had a terrifying girl and you got it. Annabelle, fucking The Shining with the twins. Yeah, you name it, we got it. The Grudge. She reminds me of The Grudge.
I can't accept this. Okay.
Anais apologizes for acting crazy and lets go to Jody, but saying Sawi isn't going to get Gumball off the hook for the crimes he's committed in that episode. Poisoning his father will earn him 5 years in the slammer, and 5 counts of assault will take his punishment up to 165 years and a brain-exploding fine of $3,750,000. Assault, being one of Gumball's crimes, is pretty hilarious when you consider that he can't even squeeze toothpaste out of a tube.
Come on.
But despite being built like a toothpick, relatable, Gumball has managed to physically assault a handful of
Did he just use soap, like actual soap, to brush his teeth? That's gross. That's gross.
characters over the seasons, including...
That's like me eating cilantro, bro. Ew. Cilantro tastes like soap to me, by the way. I'm so sorry to everybody who likes cilantro, but don't judge me.
Tobias and an entire team of jocks?
Oh.
That goody two-shoes Alan for having the nerve to buy him the perfect Secret Santa present?
Dude, when he apologized for making you feel bad, you roundhouse kicked him. And when he kindly said not to worry about it because his father is a surgeon so he wouldn't get a scar, you just...
And of course, Darwin, because...
Thanks.
Hello?
Haha.
Hello? Okay, I get you in. Let me out.
Those guys weren't injured too bad, but Gumball accidentally stabbed this parking officer in the chest.
We cost more than you make it a year.
Let me fix that.
Oh.
I'm surprised the milk carton made it into adulthood anyway. People must mistake him for a regular milk all the time. We see
He just got killed.
the milk carton dude with a band-aid on his chest later in the episode. I have no idea how he survived off that milk cloth.
Wait, he survived that? That's not a different milk carton? What the fuck?
But I do know that 12 counts of assault will earn Gumball 384 years in prison, plus $9 million worth of fines. I know the show is called The Amazing World of Gumball, but nothing this criminal gets up to is amazing. In fact, The Serial Killer World of Gumball might be a more fitting title. After Anton tragically turned to mush at yesterday's swim practice, Gumball is shocked to discover he's still alive on the school bus the next morning. Darwin puts it down to a strong immune system, but Gumball's convinced Anton holds the secret to immortality, and he's going to find out what it is by killing Toast Boy over and over again in some pretty savage ways.
Yo, he intentionally is trying to kill someone. The episode is based on him trying to kill someone. What?
Gumball viciously murdered them a total of 60 times, but he bounced right back after every slang. So what was his secret to immortality? Well, it was a toaster. Yeah, should have seen that one coming. And Anton isn't the only murder victim of Gumball, the serial killer. Oh no, the cats also massacred these 4 guys.
What?
I don't know. I just expected you to...
Alan?
That's exactly what just happened.
Should've let us leave the room first. Let me do this one.
No. Should go to school.
The cop got fucking exploded.
So we can work hard and get the best possible start in life.
Anyone else want to go to school?
Rotten Cupcake. Darwin. And Bobbert. A life sentence for murder can be as high as 25 years, so 72 counts will earn Gumball a super long 1,800 years in jail, plus a colossal $72 million fine. Overall, our corrupt kitty's looking at a jaw-dropping 2,507 years and 3 months in jail, and a terrifyingly huge $86,442,000 fine. Gumball is clearly president of the criminal cat company, but
He is insanely criminal. That's insane. Did any of you guys get your answers right? Because I definitely had no idea. I was nowhere near this. I was so far off. I was going for like 260 somewhat years. Yeah. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed the video. To see more videos like this, drop a like, comment what you'd like to see me react to, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!